Gloucestershire may have let Kent off the hook at the start of the second day of their LV County Championship match in Bristol, but the home side is still very well placed at the halfway stage. Kent had a shocker at the end of day one when they slipped to 33 for 6 in reply to their hosts' 252, and 3 balls into the second morning it was 33 for 7 as Adam Riley nicked Will Gidman behind to give Gareth Roderick his 4th catch of the innings. The Gloucestershire captain, Michael Klinger, must have been pondering whether to enforce a follow-on so early in the game. He may not have done that, but at this stage it appeared as if he would have the option, with Kent in a horrible mess. They had simply not recovered from losing their top 4 with only 1 run between them. But Adam Ball and Sam Billings then produced a stand which, after the events which preceded it, took everyone by surprise. This was the kind of thing we'd all expected on the first day, with the sun shining and the pitch appearing to be a good one to bat on. At last we had 2 players putting bat to ball together, and in doing so they advanced the total from 33 for 7 to 101 in 22 almost incident-free overs. The follow-on avoidance target was now only a couple of runs away. But before Kent got there, they lost Ball, who, having made a pleasing 37, was bowled by beauty from Will Gidman, who was to finish with the magnificent figures of 4 for 14 from 12 overs. Klinger didn't have to worry about the follow-on in the end. That had been avoided by the time Tom Smith had Billings plumb in front for 42 at 113 for 9. 1 run later and the innings was over on the stroke of lunch, Roderick bagging his 5th catch and James Fuller his 4th wicket for figures of 4 for 32. Gloucestershire had a first innings lead of 138. But the wickets continued to fall when Gloucestershire batted a second time. Klinger was LBW to Mitch Claydon for 4. Before Chris Dent was bowled via the inside edge by Darren Stevens with his first delivery, a wicket which left the home side on 29 for 2. It had been an extraordinary game to date, but the feeling was that someone somewhere was going to make the most of the conditions. Both Will Tavares and Alex Gidman have scored well this season, and it looked as if one of them might do the job as they doubled the total in the next 7 overs. It wasn't to be Tavares though, who was legged before to Stevens for 27, an innings which had helped his side move 196 runs ahead. And by the time Kent struck again, that lead was well into the 300s, and Gloucestershire were looking good for their first victory of the summer. Gidman, as he so often does, made batting look very easy as he worked the ball around for his boundaries. And that took him to his half-century just after tea, just the 2nd of the match so far. Having been stuck on 49 for some time, Gidman scored a single off Riley to get to his 50 off 77 deliveries. It was Gidman's 3rd 50 of the Championship summer, one of which he had converted into a 3-figure score, and he was looking good enough here to do that again. At last we were seeing a partnership of note, just to prove that this pitch was not filled with demons, as the first day's antics had suggested. Gidman had been joined by Hamish Marshall, and these two began to take the game completely away from their opponents, if, being 33 for 7, had not done that already. Both batsmen had plenty of time to build an innings, of course, with this match moving on at such a pace during day 1. Normal service had now been resumed as this pair took their partnership into 3 figures in 31 overs together. Anyone who'd read the day 1 scorecards and had now come to watch must have thought that they'd taken a wrong turn somewhere along the way. Batting was now a lot more comfortable, or at least these two were making it look that way. Marshall completed his 2nd 50 of the summer with his 7th 4 from his 110th delivery. The lead had now moved into the 300s as this pair took their partnership with the 4th wicket to 135 in 42 overs together. They just about batted Kent out of this game before the halfway stage had even been reached. They had again made it their side's day, although it was ruined a bit when Gidman on 85 top-edged to pull off Stevens to ball, who took a very good catch running towards the boundary from mid-wicket. Marshall and Roderick ensured that there were no more losses before the close, adding 20 more runs in the 8 overs that remained to put their side into a wonderful position. Gloucestershire will go again on the 3rd morning with the score reading 213 for 4, and that gives them a lead of 351. Marshall will have time to try to get to 100. He'll resume on 66 with Roderick on 13. and Klinger will now have the decision on when to declare.